Welcome to our Weekend Weekly News Update, where we bring you the latest headlines and key developments from the past week. Whether it's politics, business, technology, or global events, this summary keeps you informed on the most important stories shaping our world. Stay tuned for the highlights and in-depth analysis of what's making news this week, and get ready to stay up to date with all the essential updates you need to know before the weekend ends. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our future videos. Let's dive in. The 2024 U.S. presidential election concluded with Donald Trump declaring victory, sparking widespread debate about the nation's political trajectory. Discussions have centered on potential shifts in domestic and foreign policy, given his campaign's emphasis on immigration reform, economic revitalization, and stricter trade practices. Voter turnout trends have also garnered attention, with notable increases among certain demographics, highlighting evolving priorities within the electorate. Analysts are examining how these factors might influence legislative cooperation, policy implementation, and public sentiment during his upcoming term. President-elect Donald Trump is forming his new cabinet with several key appointments at this moment. Susie Wiles will serve as White House Chief of Staff, the first woman to hold the position. Pete Hegseth, a Fox News host and Army National Guard veteran, has been nominated as Secretary of Defense. Matt Gaetz is tapped to lead the Department of Justice, signaling a focus on reforming the department. Kristi Noem, South Dakota's governor, will head the Department of Homeland Security, emphasizing border security. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., an outspoken critic of mainstream health policies, is nominated for Secretary of Health and Human Services. We will provide an official update later this month. Hurricane Sarah, currently a tropical storm with maximum sustained winds of 45 miles per hour, is positioned at approximately 16.5 degrees north and 87.2 degrees west in the Caribbean. It is moving westward at a slow pace of 5 miles per hour. The storm is causing catastrophic flooding and mudslides in Central America, particularly impacting Honduras and nearby regions. Forecast models indicate that Sarah may strengthen into a hurricane as it continues westward. Over the coming days, it is expected to meander near the western Caribbean before potentially shifting towards the Gulf of Mexico or U.S. coastline next week, November 20th to 23rd, 2024, though its exact path and timing remain uncertain. Areas such as Florida could face risks, depending on its trajectory and intensity. Authorities recommend monitoring updates from the National Hurricane Center and local weather services for the latest information on Hurricane Sarah's path and advisories.
This week, U.S. jobless claims decreased to 216,000, a drop of 12,000 from the previous week's revised figure of 228,000. The 4-week moving average also declined to 220,000, signaling a steady improvement in labor market conditions. These figures remain close to historically low levels, suggesting resilience in the job market despite economic uncertainties. Continuing claims, representing the total number of individuals receiving unemployment benefits, were reported at approximately 1.83 million, a slight increase but still within a stable range. The data points to a labor market that is navigating broader economic challenges with sustained strength. The decline suggests that employers remain reluctant to lay off workers despite challenges like inflation and market volatility. Analysts view this trend as a positive indicator for consumer spending and overall economic stability, though concerns persist about the sustainability of this strength given ongoing monetary tightening and geopolitical tensions. The data highlights the U.S. economy's ability to navigate headwinds while maintaining workforce stability. However, this week, several significant layoffs have been reported in the IT sector, reflecting broader trends of restructuring and cost-cutting in the tech industry. Cisco is undergoing another round of significant layoffs, expected to impact over 4,000 employees. This follows earlier cuts in February 2024 as the company shifts its focus towards AI and cybersecurity, while dealing with declining demand for its traditional networking products. The layoffs are part of efforts to streamline operations after substantial investments, including a $28 billion acquisition of Splunk. Other tech companies are also trimming their workforce. For instance, Dell recently announced layoffs affecting 10% of its workforce, and Intel is implementing cuts involving approximately 15,000 roles globally. These actions highlight ongoing economic pressures and shifting priorities towards AI and emerging technologies across the sector. Over 130,000 tech jobs have been cut in 2024 so far, emphasizing a challenging year for the industry as companies adapt to changing market dynamics. The Federal Reserve implemented its second rate cut of the year, lowering the federal funds rate by 0.25 percentage points. This reflects easing inflationary pressures and is aimed at supporting economic growth, which continues to show resilience. Following the conclusion of the presidential election, U.S. stock markets reached record highs. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose by 1,508 points to close at 43,729.93, while the Nasdaq Composite gained 544 points to reach 18,983.47. Inflation data continues to suggest a deceleration in price increases. Combined with stable economic activity, this has bolstered consumer and investor confidence. Retail and holiday spending reports indicate steady consumer activity despite some broader uncertainties, highlighting a stable economic environment for the fourth quarter. While the U.S. shows growth, concerns remain about potential trade tensions and regulatory shifts under the next administration. Europe and Asia are monitoring the situation closely as they adjust to possible new U.S. tariffs and policies.
This week, healthcare faces several challenges across the United States, including workforce shortages, the increasing shift toward value-based care, and evolving regulatory pressures. The healthcare sector continues to grapple with a significant shortage of nurses and physicians. Projections indicate that the U.S. could face a shortage of up to 450,000 nurses by 2025, exacerbated by rising turnover rates, burnout, and competitive demand from other industries. Health systems are also struggling to fill physician roles. There is a continued push toward value-based care models. Health systems are under pressure to reduce inpatient admissions and improve cost efficiency. With value-based care programs expected to grow significantly over the next few years, hospitals and insurers are focusing on enhancing their risk-bearing capabilities. However, adopting this model effectively requires technological upgrades and investments in patient management tools to ensure seamless service delivery. Healthcare systems are increasingly turning to digital tools and automation to streamline operations and cut costs. Artificial intelligence, for instance, is being explored to improve administrative processes, reduce medical costs, and enhance clinical documentation. However, full integration of AI in healthcare remains challenging due to data complexity and the need for specialized talent. Ongoing legislative initiatives are reshaping the pharmaceutical and healthcare landscape. For instance, the Inflation Reduction Act is set to limit out-of-pocket spending on prescription drugs for Medicare recipients, pushing for price transparency across the sector. These changes, while aimed at reducing patient expenses, are putting additional strain on healthcare providers and payers. Overall, the healthcare industry is navigating a complex landscape with both challenges and opportunities. Efforts to innovate, optimize operational efficiency, and adapt to regulatory shifts are central to the sector's future. However, achieving resilience and improving patient care amidst these challenges will require a strategic, multifaceted approach. As we wrap up this weekend's news, it's clear that this week has been marked by significant developments across various sectors, from political shifts to economic insights and environmental challenges. As we look ahead, stay tuned for more updates, and remember to stay informed as the world continues to change rapidly. Thank you for joining us for this weekly recap, and we'll be back with more next week. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel.